What's happening, people? Welcome back to the channel. Octagon Jordan's back in your life. Today, I want to talk about the breaking news of UFC 306 at the Sphere in Las Vegas. Noche UFC, September 14th, 2024. Excuse me. Now proclaimed as Riyadh season, infiltrating the USA. Now, we've seen Riyadh season with Francis Ngannou. We've seen Riyadh season with Tyson Fury. We've seen Riyadh season with number of different individuals. They've been doing boxing fights left and right up there in Riyadh season, but we've never seen it in the U.S. infiltrate the U.S. market until today. So this is what just got announced. It's all over the Twitter waves. It's all over the Twitter profiles. Riyadh season, Noche UFC, September 14th. Now, that's a lot to take in. So it's a UFC event. It's Mexican Independence Day. It's at the Sphere, and it's sponsored by Riyadh season. So I've already been getting texts from my brother, friends, what's this about? Why is Saudi Arabia in on this? Riyadh season, Noche, Mexicans, UFC, American, Las Vegas, Sugar Sean's main eventing. It's a very interesting situation. UFC 306 will be rebranded to Riyadh season, Noche UFC, to take place September 14th at the Sphere in Las Vegas. It's an interesting conversation to have. Obviously it's a very expensive venue. We already have Dana White going on tape, going on record, stating that he spent $15 million already for the event. Not really sure why it's so high. I mean, I'm sure renting out the Sphere is expensive, but at the end of the day, it's just a building. I know it's a very cool circular building with a screen, stretching on the outside that can portray any image and has very cool graphics and great marketing, obviously. But at the end of the day, it's a building. You walk in, you sit down, you watch. If it rains, you got a ceiling over your head, and you're not going to get water on you. So, of course, all the graphics, all the screen material, all the animations inside the event as the fight's, portraying what they're going to have going, the music. I'm sure it's a highly sought-after venue as well. So in order to rent it, I'm sure it's a high rental fee as well. But, it's pretty clear that UFC is in bed with Saudi Arabia at this point. Obviously, we're coming off UFC Saudi Arabia. I got 7 out of 10 on my picks. Go back and watch it. I make the perfect mojito. But they're in bed with Saudi Arabia. Turkey Al Sheikh, he was having a ball at the Saudi Arabia event, fucking Turkey doing his thing there. And, I think Dana White needed a little bit more money. He didn't want to go full investment with the UFC here. I don't think he would have made too much money. So he asked Turkey Al Sheikh if he wanted to, maybe go 50-50 on the event. I'm not sure if it's 50-50. Maybe it's 70-30, 80-20. But Saudi Arabia's putting money into this event, so that means that they're in bed with the UFC. They're helping the UFC out. They're obviously getting some revenue for this. They're getting some marketing for this. Riyadh season is being promoted in the USA now. People that aren't familiar with the UFC, that aren't familiar with combat sports, are going to see that. They're going to look it up on Google. They're going to look it up on Siri. They're going to look it up on wherever people look fucking shit up. And they're going to find out that it's Turkey Al Sheikh, it's Saudi Arabia, it's a sought-after destination. You should go there. It's so cool. It's so nice. There's so much money. I'm sure they're getting a cut of the pie as well. I'm sure they probably butchered a deal with UFC to bring more events there, have certain fighters on here. I'm sure we're going to see some Dagestani fighters, some European fighters, some maybe Saudi Arabia fighter, maybe Jubilee might be back. Who fucking knows? But it's just an interesting, weird situation. The rumor right now is that Sugar Sean and Merab Dvalishvili are going to headline this event, an American and a Georgian that thinks he's Mexican, an American that loves America, that smokes weed, that loves his freedoms for Riyadh season. No women allowed. I'm not sure if there's going to be women allowed here, if Turkey Al Sheikh himself is going to attend this, but it's a very interesting situation, something to keep tabs on, something I wanted to cover. MMA Guru has put out his opinion on this. Obviously, he just made a whole video talking about Dagestani privilege, the refs let him cheat, Khabib missed weight, blah, 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 blah. And the money's coming in now. I mean, it's taking over. It's changing everything. Live golf, the golf scene's completely different. We got Bryson DeChambeau bringing the U.S. Open trophy over to Saudi Arabia. Greg Norman. We got John Rahm. We got Dustin Johnson. We got all these big names. All the big boxing events are happening over there. They're talking about potentially making a boxing league. The Saudis are taking over. It's just something that we have to, embrace, that we have to live with. Obviously, it's cool that we get stacked cards. This past card, Saudi Arabia wanted it stacked, so we got it stacked, which is awesome. I love a good stack card. I'm sure the next card they bring to Saudi Arabia is going to be even better. I'm sure the Sphere card is going to be fucking absurd. So I like that aspect of it. But MMA Guru makes a good point here. The money's coming in. I just hope they don't stop caring about the U.S. Western markets. Jandaroma and Lemos in a stadium show, UFC 304 at 5 a.m. UK time. I agree with MMA Guru here. I hope that UFC isn't blinded to the Saudi oil money. I hope they still keep going back to Canada, keep going to Brazil. Actually, no, fuck Brazil. Those crowds suck. Those cards suck. Pantoja in the main event's fucking embarrassing. Glover Teixeira in the main event at 42 years of age is embarrassing. Trotting out Jose Aldo to beat number 14 Jonathan Martinez. Fucking embarrassing. After not being in the USADA pool or whatever drug testing pool for the amount of time he was supposed to be. It's embarrassing. Brazil, you're off the fucking list. But Canada, UK, other markets, they're trying to get to Spain, I know, Australia, things like this. Honestly, I don't give a fuck where they go, but I do want to see these other markets get some shine, get some good cards as well. I don't want to just see all Dagestani, Saudi Arabia cards, all these weird Riyadh season things, all these stipulations that Turki Al-Sheikh wants to do. So it's a touchy subject. It's weird. It's strange. There's so many different opinions here on Twitter. Amir Albazi, Pantoja. I fucking hope not. Mexican Independence Day cash grab brought to you by Czechoslovakia Saudi Arabia Sports Washing Fund. Someone edited a picture of MBS and Turki Al-Sheikh wearing sombreros. Shout out to this gentleman. I mean, look at the hashtags. Mexico, Venezuela. It's strange. This card's in Vegas. The Saudis are just sponsoring it. Money talks, cry. The Saudis are sending a team to your location right now. So safe to say the MMA community is going crazy over this. It's very weird. It's very strange. And, this loser, Big Shocker, who I just made a video on, sounds ridiculous. I mean, this guy's a clown. Everybody exposed this guy. Dude's a loser. He comments back to me that I was bullying him or being disrespectful. All the guy does is send disrespectful tweets out, stupid replies. But anyway, this video isn't about him. It's about Noche UFC. And it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see how the card plays out, how UFC is going to do the animations, the graphics on the big screen, how they're going to do the camera shots and the broadcasting itself. I'm very interested. I think Sugar Sean Merab will be the main event. I'm sure Alexa Grasso, Valentina Shevchenko will be on this card. Probably Ralo Rosas will be on this card. I'm hoping Manuel Torres should be on this card. I haven't heard from him. Manuel Torres should be co-main event. The guy's a fucking dog, a savage. Fuck Rosas. Fuck Grasso. Fuck these other people. Yair Rodriguez. Manuel Torres is here to stay, and he's here. He's coming for the top. He's the true prospect. He's the true Mexican prospect. Brandon Moreno's done. It's over. Manuel Torres, put him in the co-main event. I want to see as many good fights as we can get on this. I want to see a lot of stuff. I'm sure there's going to be a couple Dagestanis on here. Maybe Ikram's return might be on here. Maybe Hamzat Chimaev if he has a visa at this point in time. I'm not sure. Diego Lopez said he wants to fight on here. A bunch of people said they want to fight on this card. So I'm anticipating the card. I can't wait for it. Get your tequila. Get your Saudi Arabia fucking sake or whatever Turki Al-Sheikh's drinking over there. White wine, Moscato. I don't know. He seems like kind of a fucking pussy. I'm not going to lie. People with a lot of money and a lot of guns and a lot of protection around them are fucking absolute pussies. So Turki Al-Sheikh seems like a fucking pussy. And, it's kind of stupid. It's kind of dumb that it's Riyadh season sponsored. Noche UFC in America. It's kind of confusing everybody. We have a Georgian and a U.S. fighter in the main event. A Georgian who thinks he's Mexican, who does skits with OnlyFans stars and porn stars and has no sex. Look at Sugar Sean's tweet, his poll. Merab Dvalishvili is a virgin. He admitted it himself. So, people always expose who they truly are. They always tell us who they are. Merab told us who he was. He's a virgin. He's Mexican. He's a freak. And he's telling us that each and every day. So we got to believe him at this point. We just have to believe him, and it is what it is. Maybe Aljo will be there in the crowd, green hair, cheering on Marab. Who knows? But it's very strange. I'm looking forward to seeing the card. It's kind of a bummer that they're infiltrating UFC. I liked it when it was just the boxing because boxing don't really make good matchups until Saudi Arabia got involved and they started making these big matchups. Anthony Joshua and Ngannou, Fury, Usyk, all these big matchups. So I like that aspect of it, but I don't want to see him infiltrate UFC, although it does make for some good cards. It's just going to be interesting to see how this plays out. How UFC really prioritizes going to different locations. We haven't heard much about UFC Africa. That's kind of going by the wayside. UFC China, when it was Zhang Weili versus Yao Xiaonan, that kind of went to the wayside. They scrapped that whole card. They haven't even spoke about China. They haven't been to Philadelphia since fucking 2017. What the fuck? We got Wells Fargo here, boy. Lincoln Financial Field. Dana, turn up. Fucking Riyadh season, so. Canada, they've been getting them some shite-ass cards. Mike Malott co-main events. Amanda Nunes main events. Canada's been getting ripped off. So, I don't know. UFC, they're in a transitional period, I feel like, right now. I feel like there's a lot of moving parts. I just feel like it's a transitional period. I feel like the next year, 2, 3 years, 2025, 2026, 2027, it's going to be a different landscape. Obviously, it's already changed. They used to do fight nights on the road all the time. Now they have Apex. Now they're going to people that pay them, like Salt Lake City, these random-ass places. They go to Austin, Texas all the time. Obviously, we got MSG. Abu Dhabi's in bed with them. We got Australia in bed with them. Canada's in bed with them. Brazil's in bed with them. So they're gonna have too many places to even fucking go to. So it's gonna be interesting. I think the next couple years it's gonna be a completely different landscape for UFC. I think they're gonna have a couple players that they're gonna go to repeatedly and just collect funds. Obviously going to every market is great to gain those fan bases, but it takes effort, it takes money, it takes time to do that. You got to have numerous shows, you got to have promotion, this and that, and it's just not feasible to grow your brand in all these different promotions with one show per year. It doesn't make sense. So I think they're slowly going to cut out certain places, maybe Brazil, maybe Canada, you're gone, probably keep Australia, probably keep Abu Dhabi, definitely keep MSG, and I think we're going to see a lot more Riyadh season when it comes to the UFC. Unfortunately or fortunately, because, they always stack the cards because they're getting paid out the wazoo from Turkey. Ali Sheikh, that motherfucker. You know what I mean? He's a little bitch ass. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. But very strange. Very strange. So I want to make this video. Love you guys. Hope you guys are enjoying a beverage right now. I got a Cape May Brewing IPA. I love you all. Keep it up. Like, subscribe. I got some new shit coming to the waves. I got some new video ideas, stuff that's going to kind of branch out from MMA, UFC, but also keep it intertwined at the same time. So we're just starting off here. We're just building, and I love everybody. Peace.